Welcome to part 2 of the Gameweek 3 preview, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the changes to the FPLtips team ahead of this weekend's games. But before that, let's take a quick look back to how my team performed in Gameweek 2. At the back, there was just one clean sheet between the 4 defensive positions, with Antonio Valencia contributing to United's 2-0 win over Southampton. Once again, Man City came close to a clean sheet, conceding a consolation goal during a 4-1 win over Stoke, which came through a penalty. Jordi Amat looked set for a clean sheet and max bonus points up until Hull snatched the victory with 2 late goals. Moving into midfield, there was very little in the way of returns there this week. Riyad Mahrez blanked as Arsenal held the current champions to a goalless draw. Nathan Redmond looked lively up front for Southampton once again, but was unable to find the back of the net. And Roberto Firmino was very quiet for Liverpool as Burnley caused an upset for Jurgen Klopp's team. Eden Hazard was the only bright spark, picking up an assist during Chelsea's 2-1 win over Watford. Up front, Aguero proved as reliable as ever, providing 26 points as captain. Andre Gray scored and assisted during his team's 2-0 win over Liverpool, but Jamie Vardy was unable to make much of an impression during Leicester's 0-0 draw with Arsenal. So it was an average score of 59 points this week, ahead of the overall average, but not quite enough to avoid a red arrow. And it's seen me fall almost 200,000 places, down to 268k. So now let's take a look ahead to Gameweek 3. I'll be making 2 transfers this week, which will see Roberto Firmino and Jamie Vardy make way, after 2 consecutive blanks from the pair of them. In their place will come Andros Townsend, ahead of his home game against Bournemouth, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who is starting to look essential after becoming the most owned striker in the game. After deciding to start without Zlatan, I thought the worst case scenario would be that he'd score 1 goal per game, but so far he's exceeded that, so he comes in to cover that incredibly high ownership, and I needed a 6.5 million midfielder to enable him. I could have punted it on an Everton midfielder, such as Deulofeu, Morales or even Balassi, but I think Barkley is the only nailed-on attacking midfielder there, and he was out of my price range, so I avoided Everton and went with Crystal Palace's Andros Townsend. I'm thinking that this will most likely be a 1-week punt before I play my wildcard, so it needed to be a player with a promising fixture in Gameweek 3. Townsend's taken 8 attempts on goal and created 5 chances so far this season, and he worked out well as my punt towards the end of last season, so I'm hoping he'll be good to me once again this time around. And here's how my team will look after those changes. At the back, Foster will retain his place in goal, at home to Middlesbrough. Valencia and Stones also keep their places, against Hull and West Ham respectively. Hull have made a great start to the season, but Valencia has to start for his attacking potential. West Ham looked quite poor going forwards against Bournemouth, despite getting the win. They've got a few injuries building up, and if Dimitri Payet is unable to return to face City, Stones has a good chance of returning points. Friend will come back into the starting 11 at the expense of Amat, ahead of his fixture against West Brom. In midfield, Mahrez, Redmond and Hazard will keep their places. They'll face home games against Swansea, Sunderland and Burnley respectively, so I'm hoping for some good returns there. And up front, once again Aguero and Gray make the 11. Chelsea haven't kept a clean sheet so far this season, so hopefully Gray will kick on after his goal and assist against Liverpool. Ibrahimovic of course comes in for United's fixture against Hull, but Aguero will keep the captaincy for City's home game against an injury-troubled West Ham. I've already made the 2 transfers, so there shouldn't be any late changes this week, but I will post my confirmed team to Twitter as always prior to the deadline. So let me know in the comments what you think to my team, and also how you got on in Gameweek 2, and any changes you're planning to make to your team for Gameweek 3. I want to quickly mention that FPLtips will be teaming up with the Fantasy Football Pundits to bring you a new joint league on the Football Survivor game. If you're not familiar with the game, it's basically a last man standing style game, where you select a team each week that you think will win their match. You lose lives when your selected team loses or draws, and you can only pick each team once. It's free to play, so definitely get involved, as there will be a prize for the winner, which will be a World Football shirt of your choice. The league will start in time for Gameweek 3, and there's a link in the description below for anyone who would like to join in.